To me, this doesn't make any sense, because a person has got to be brain dead before his organs could be used for cadaver organ donation and further transplantation. So this is contradiction within itself. A person who is terminally ill, where every treatment has been tried and failed, where there is no chance of recovery, he should be allowed peaceful exit. And in case he is in ICU, where he can be kept alive with the help of life-saving machines, that's the time the relatives of this patient should consider organ donation, so that somebody else's life could be saved. The kidneys could be used, the eye could be used, the liver could be used, and maybe sometime in future even heart could be used.
Right, that's exactly why Sujata wanted the mercy killing, but she says she's not supporting it for Aruna. This particular argument, though, that why when someone is in this condition, to keep them living is inhuman.
See, one thing, organ donation is something noble, which I think we need to promote in our society very positively. Now, that does not mean that we have to terminate someone's life in order to do that.
What is more inhuman? What is more cruel?
As he rightly said, only after doctors certify that somebody is clinically dead can his organ or her organs be, donated to someone else, so that somebody else can live. So therefore, I think it does not at all legitimize any attempt to terminate someone's life.
But the Law Commission, the 18th Law Commission I have here, has actually recommended legalizing euthanasia and legalizing assisted suicide.
Well, that's precisely what I'm saying. Life cannot be just reduced to legality alone. Something is written as a law, but I think life is much more than law. There is also an ethical dimension, there's a moral dimension, there is a spiritual dimension of human life. I think that aspect also needs to be taken into account before we make decisions on a person's life and society.
Clearly, there has been an outstanding amount of care from the nursing staff, at least at KEM Hospital, who have kept alive Aruna Shanbhag for 36 years. I mean, it's been nursing and not medicine, as Pinky Virani has said. Now, when life is carrying on, when the heart is pumping, when the lungs are breathing, the nurses are being able to keep this person alive, then why not simply improve the quality of care? Why doesn't the hospital simply intervene medically, or medical operations be carried out?
But her life is not getting improved. It is not improved in 36 years. Her trauma has not diminished. I agree the nurses are giving her care. And she has been kept there because she was working in KEM Hospital. Her family has abandoned her. The man who was supposed to marry her backed out. She had nobody else. It is really laudable that KEM Hospital.
I think we should not just count the number of years. But the life itself is something valuable and worthwhile.
No. I know Christian agencies which cater to terminally ill people, and where once you admit yourself there, only painkillers are given and no other medication. And they say a lot of prayer. They calm the person down so that the person is allowed to die peacefully. So I don't think Christian religion itself is against this kind of concept of a peaceful exit. Instead of mechanically and with the help of machines keeping somebody alive. Now, where Aruna's case is concerned, her heart may be beating, her lungs may be functioning, but her brain is dead, and her brain is dead for a long time. If a person's brain is dead, how can we say the person is alive? The person is just kept alive. Through her own conscious mind, she is not able to do anything, not even keep herself alive. And I think this is a very, very special case, and courts must consider special cases.
It is indeed.
There is no need to treat it as a precedent.
It is indeed an exceptional case. It is in fact a case that perhaps needs to be treated on a case-by-case basis. 36 years of being in a vegetative state. Aruna Shanbhag, should she be liberated from her suffering? I want to ask you one last question. You're giving the religious point of view when opposing mercy killing, but what about the Jain monks? The Jain monks have a tradition that, when they reach a certain stage, they can fast and simply die.
Well, I'm not here to question the legitimacy of their belief. Different people have their different religious
faith.
Yeah, different people have different religious faiths. Accordingly, they can also take decisions about their life. Now, I cannot and I will not pass a judgment on somebody else is following another religious tradition.
But I'm saying
and taking a decision on that.
But I'm saying religious faith is not uniform on this.
Yes,
there are religions
not,
that believe in mercy killing. So it's not as if there is a religious point of view on this. There are very different.
There are different religions, different religious points of view.
So it's only the Christian view that actually.
Certainly we support life sustenance and not termination.
Right, well, that's all we have time for. Flavia Agnes, Surendra Delia, Sujata, Babu Joseph, thanks very much indeed for joining us. What's your verdict to us at the end of the show? Should Indians have the right to die? In fact, 82 yes, 80 no. Big majority there saying Indians should have the right to die.